Hi everyone, it's Laura Christine from Kitchen Garden Expert, and today we are going to talk about how to collect and save seeds from the garden. So stay tuned. So what seeds can you collect from your garden that you can save and plant for next year? Well, first, there are seeds that are open pollinated. Open pollinated means that they get pollinated through natural ways like the wind or insects or other natural ways. Another type of seed is an heirloom seed. Now we've heard heirloom, that seems to be a buzzword lately, but what heirlooms means is that it's a seed that has been passed down from generation to generation. And it has a historical value or a cultural value or a regional value. And it makes it heirloom if it's been passed down for 50 years. Heirloom seeds are open pollinated, so you get the best of both worlds. You've got a seed that is from a plant that has basically been acclimated to your climate if it's a regional type of seed or a local type of seed. And it basically, and in my experience, we have little bugs and little diseases because the plants are super healthy. So heirloom seeds would be another type of seed that you can harvest and plant for next year. Other types of seeds that you can use to plant for next year are non-GMO or non-genetically modified seeds. Self-pollinating plants like lettuce, tomatoes, and parsley. Those types of seeds you can plant for the next year. Other types of seeds that you can use are herb seeds. Herbs are really good to plant for the next year, and some examples of that would be dill, cilantro, and parsley. So how can we ensure that those seeds that you've collected are viable and will be true to germinate next year? Well, there are a few factors to take into consideration. Number one is to harvest mature seeds. I love to use the example of tomatoes because we all know tomatoes. A ripe tomato, which is red, which is a nice red color, inside has mature seeds. Not a green tomato, not a tomato that's in between red and green. A red tomato has mature seeds. So number one, don't forget to harvest a mature seed. Number two, make sure your seeds are dried properly. The drying process has to have air circulation. Otherwise, mold and fungus will grow. Also, keep your seeds out of the direct sunlight. We all think that that'll dry faster, but it could burn actually the seed and bring it beyond drying. Number three would be to clean off your seeds. Don't leave any debris on the seeds. For example, if you left soil on a seed, there are still microorganisms in that soil, and they could snack on your seed that you're trying to save. And number four, storage. Make sure you properly store your seed. And we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. The bean plant is the easiest plant to harvest or collect seeds from. You just basically let the bean dry on the vine. This one's not super dry yet. It's all by touch. So when this gets like dry and crackly, then you'll know it's time. And I have one that I've set aside here. I don't know if you can see, but it's dry and crackly. And on the inside is your bean or your seed. Other vegetables you can easily collect seeds from are peppers and cucumbers. Let me show you how that's done. The next thing that I want to show you what is pretty simple to remove seeds from are peppers. So I've got some cayenne peppers here, and let me show you how I remove the seeds. As you can see, I've cut them in half, and I'm being extremely careful.
I have to admit I'm a spice wimp, so I will scrape these out with my knife, and I'm trying to handle them very gently now at this point, now that the seeds and the insides are exposed. And that's basically it for the peppers. And just the next vegetable that's super easy to collect seeds from is a good old cucumber. And all you need to do is slice it and scoop out the seeds. So let me show you how that's done. So basically you cut your cucumber in half, and then you remove the seeds from inside. And I just dig my finger in and probably splash all over the place. I will put these in a strainer and kind of rinse them off. So there are your cucumber seeds. Like I said before, I will put them in a strainer, rinse off the sticky stuff, then put them on a plate, pat them dry with a paper towel, and check on them every few days to see if they've dried.
Another easy collection of seeds is from sunflowers, so let me show you how I do it. I'm a big fan of sunflowers. I grow them all over the place, and a lot of these plants that you see here are the result of lots of sunflower seeds. Basically, I wait, so I'm trying to find you a good example. When this flower starts to die, right through here are where all the seeds are, and I just take off the top and I let it, out of the direct sunlight, but with some air ventilation, I just let it dry.
And this is a dried sunflower head, and as you can see, this stuff actually is in front of the seeds, and there are your seeds. And you just break these apart, and these will be the seeds that I plant next year for my sunflowers.
Now it's time to store your seeds. Seed storage is pretty easy. Just take those dried seeds, and here is my dried seeds, my tomato seeds that I have on a plate. And as you can see, they are truly dry. They've dried for a couple of days. And then I take my seeds and I will store them in a couple of different ways. One option is to store them in these little paper envelopes that have a window so you can see what's in there. Or another option would be baggies, or these tiny little baggies. I always use a permanent marker to mark the name of the vegetable and the variety, and also the year that I harvested the seeds, and that helps me keep track of it. Then I put them in a jar for storage with a desiccant, and that is basically a dehumidifier. And then I will store it in a cool, dark place, a place like the basement, or sometimes for longevity, a refrigerator, or even in the freezer if I want them to last longer.